I'm JJ Barnes and welcome back to another episode of Creative Writing Advice. If you don't know me, my name's JJ. I am the author of How to Write a Story, as well as other books I have out. I also have a film and a television show in production and a writing advice blog, but over here on YouTube I'm doing writing advice videos designed to help make you a better and more confident writer by bringing you the advice and things I have learned over the years that have helped me in my career. So today I'm going to talk to you about the humanity of your characters, and specifically your protagonist and antagonist, but it does go for all characters. The film I'm going to be talking about is Die Hard and the Die Hard series, and I'm going to be talking about John McClane. Now, I'm a massive fan of Die Hard, huge fan, have seen it a billion times, absolutely love it. And part of the reason for that is the character of John McClane. So, if you are familiar with Die Hard, this will all make sense, and I will talk about how to extrapolate the information I'm giving you about this film into your own characterization. So, John McClane, the reason his humanity is so strong. When he first arrives in LA and he goes to Nakatomi Plaza, he is driven, he is motivated, he wants to find Holly, his wife, and he wants to win her back. He's in love with her, it's Christmas, they've been separated by distance, he's been in New York and she's been LA, and he wants to get their marriage back together. When he goes to Nakatomi Tower, you understand him, you know what he wants. You get him, he's a human being. So you follow him up there and you see him meet Holly. Now, of course, when he meets Holly and he sees her again, he also meets Ellis. Now, Ellis is essentially a romantic rival, but not really. Ellis is the one who represents what Holly would lose if she went back to New York with John. So, Ellis is talking about the gold watch that the company have given her, how successful she is, how happy she is, how well she's doing. And John represents the past, so he is jealous and he is in pain. He's hiding it because he's a tough guy cop, but you can tell he is emotionally struggling with the fact that Holly is so happy and so successful there without him. This makes him vulnerable. Now, emotionally vulnerable. I'm going to talk about physical vulnerability as well, but emotionally vulnerable. You can see what matters to him and why it hurts. He is in love, he wants his wife back, but she is happy without him. So when you think about your characters, the humanity of your characters will often be found in their vulnerability. What do they care about? What do they want? Why is it a problem? Obviously, John McClane's motivation changes because he has to think about surviving, but when he gets there, what he wants and what he cares about is the love of his life. So you understand him, you are riding with him on a journey. So make sure that when your characters are introduced to your audience, they want something and they care about it and you understand why. Because once you see what they want and their vulnerability, why it matters to them and why they're in pain without it, you care about them. You become connected to them. You are motivated as an audience to see them get what they want and you care. If you don't care, you won't care about your characters, you won't care about the story, it will stop mattering. So give them something to care about. And John McClane has something he cares about, so you care about him getting it. Now, the physical vulnerability, because this is where John McClane is an interesting character, and I'll talk about how it changes and why the series then lost its appeal. So, when the terrorists attack Nakatomi Tower, John McClane gets beat up. He is still fighting, he's still pushing because he wants to rescue Holly and he wants to save everybody's lives. But he is in pain, he's cut, he's bruised, he's bleeding because he is human. He's not a superhero. And even though superhero stories are very popular, and I understand that they are very popular, and I love them too, don't get me wrong, I love them too, but a lot of the time it's the humanity of those characters that you care about. You care about Iron Man, not because of Iron Man blasting things, I mean maybe if you're a kid you do, but as an adult you connect to Tony Stark, because Tony Stark is mischievous and he's smart and he loves Pepper Potts and he has humanity in him. Right? It's not when he's just blasting around in the Iron Man suit, however entertaining that is to watch. If he did nothing else than that, if Tony Stark didn't feature and it was just the blasting, wouldn't be a very popular character. You have to have the humanity of the characters. So Die Hard is that. John McClane, even when he's pushing and fighting and being strong and smart and switched on and fighting very well, he is still human and he is still vulnerable. Now, that is something that you have to think about for your characters as well. What hurts them? You might not be telling an action story, and that's fine. But if your character is never hurt emotionally, never fails, never makes a mistake, nothing bad ever really happens to them, they just go on their journey to get what they want and they get it, and nothing damages them along the way, they're not real. They're not human. And we want to connect with other humans through our stories. It's what we go to stories for. It's the humanity in others and to live other lives and to explore a world that we aren't living in through the eyes of somebody we aren't. But if we can't connect to them and they aren't anything like us at all, it won't work. It won't stick. You have to have that humanity. You have to have that vulnerability, the flaws, the weaknesses, and the pain. Because we all experience all of those things, and we all have all of those things. So even though I have absolutely, well, I have very little in common, shall we say, with a New York City cop who's a man, who's big and tough and strong, I am not that. But I can still connect to him and relate to him because of his flaws, his weaknesses, his fears, his hopes, his dreams, the pain he goes through. Now, Die Hard as a series loses its popularity and its success as it goes along. And this is not just me having a thought here, this is a very well documented thing, so you're probably very familiar with this already. But as the series goes on, especially after number 3, because in number 3 he still gets beat up pretty bad when he's running around with Sam Jackson, but after number 3 he starts to get invulnerable. He starts to be able to do things that no sort of older man should be able to do. No younger man should really be able to do them either, but it starts to lose its believability. They start to make John McClane superhuman, and he shouldn't be. He's not. Because then he gets unrelatable, and when you're watching it, you're like, no, it won't happen, can't connect to that, can't relate to that. You've lost your audience. So keep your characters human, keep them real, keep them weak, keep them scared, keep them in pain. I'm not saying all the time they have to be all of those things, but that has to be a possibility for them, and you have to show them experiencing those things. Everything a human can experience, your characters should experience, and if human beings can't do it, unless you're writing an alien or a robot, if human beings cannot do something, your characters shouldn't be able to do it either. Ground your character as a person. Make sure they experience all the things people can experience, and if a person in that situation would struggle, your character should struggle. Humanity is what matters. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you love Die Hard as much as I do and this all made sense. If you could subscribe to this channel, I am releasing a video every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9:30 in the morning, as I'm sure you know by now. But if you don't, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing storycraft, writing technique, characterization. Drop me a comment below if you want me to cover a specific character like I have done in this video, or a specific story, or a specific writer and their style. Let me know and I will talk about them and try to take what makes them successful and makes them popular, distill it down into some easy to follow nuggets of information and bring it back to you. So drop me a comment and tell me, what is it you'd like me to talk about? Please go to my website, which is jjbarnes.co.uk. Over there you'll find links to all my work, as well as my writing advice blog, my books, my film, my TV, and my art. And I will be back again soon. Come find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, chat to me, talk about writing, tell me what you're working on. I love to hear it. The writing community is a wonderful place that I love to be part of. So come and join me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back again soon. Bye.